Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Based on 108 mantras to awaken your soul and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And today's the series number 60. How does God create and design my life, our lives? And pranam to Harihar Ji Maharaj, Guru Ji, for his blessings and inviting us, all of us, to join this session, guiding us to deliver his message, the Bhagavad Gita's message, as much as possible. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam, where we spread the message of Bhagavad Gita through books, through parvachans, workshops, etc. So pranam Guruji again for your blessings. And today's series is based on Gita's verse number 8, chapter 9. What is God's goal for the universe and us? Karma and reincarnation. How to know God's play, benefits, practices and homework, and our sankalpa. I follow God's plans, meditation and question and answers. And let's all pray together to Lord Krishna, like Arjuna did when he lost his heroism, when he got confused with attachments, ego, whether he should be part of the Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, Dharma Kshetra, where he thought it was only Kurukshetra, bloody war. But Lord Krishna guided him that it's the Dharma Kshetra, where Arjuna requested Lord Krishna. And Lord Krishna took him to blissful journey, where he got transformed, uplifted him, his conscious level, and he understood that this is truly a Dharma Kshetra. That's his dharma. He's supposed to be following his dharma, where he initially said, Na jyotasyati govindam, to finally, I do as you advise, karishye vachanam tab. So let's all pray to Lord Krishna and seek for his guidance and his advice. Karpanye dosho pahte swabhavaha paschyami tvam dharma samudachetaha yachesyani nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste ham shadi mam tvam prapanyam. My heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all my composure and my mind is confused about my duty, dharma, what to do, what not to do. So I am requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. Please instruct me. So Lord Krishna, Arjuna's divine company, blessed him where Lord Krishna gave him the infinite wisdom, which is a step-by-step spiritual instruction manual to operate our lives righteously. How to live in this world and how to die. And continue to experience happiness, peace, Anandam, while living in this material world, in Maya and Prakriti, and realize my true nature, that I am Chit Ananda, based on Swami Hariharji's many quotations. And Bhagavad Gita, where we had completed first 6 chapters, and now we are on the path of Bhakti Yoga. And this is the second chapter of the third, actually, 8th chapter of the Bhakti Yoga. Raj Vidya, Raj Gruha Yoga, where we learn until Karma Yoga. And now we are learning the greatest wisdom, the king of the wisdom. So chapter 9, as I mentioned, we have already graduated from the middle school. And now we are in the first year of high school, 9th grade, next level. The path of the most secret and sacred knowledge, where Lord Krishna guides Arjuna with this wisdom, and he finally reaches to the ultimate, understand his true dharma. So in chapter 9, it's the transcendental knowledge which we learn in chapter 2 as well. Is the king of all knowledge. God is everything, and everything is his manifestation. Where the reality of life, birth and death, body and soul, Brahma Vidya, supreme knowledge. We learned that. And now, today the focus is God's plan for us. So the verse 8, and actually there are several verses prior to that where Lord Krishna speaks about the universe, how he created the universe. But here we are mainly today focusing both on the universe, but mainly on the human beings. So he says, Prakartim Swamavashtabhya Vrasajami Puna Puna Bhut Gramam Imam Krishnasam Vasham Prakarte Vishad. Due to my material nature, Prakriti or Maya, I automatically create again and again this whole multitude of beings, reincarnating them according to their respective karma and subject to the influence of their own nature, gunas. So here is saying God creates our life based upon our karmas and gunas. He created the mother nature, Prakriti. This is going into the duality, Maya and us, God and us. But still the concept is same. Vasudev Sarvamiti. All is God. Prakriti is his, we are him, a part of that Prakriti. So he creates a Prakriti. And there is a previous verses talk about that after a long period of time where the whole universe is in latent state, Lord Krishna brings it back into the duality, the Prakritic nature, Prakritic in Maya again. And in that Maya, he creates us. But how he creates us? It is because of cause and effect. This is the law of karma. So karma takes us to rebirth. And here is a good image where you can see that based on the karmas, one could go into the lower self, into the animal state, into the same human body. At the same time, with the good karmas, they can continue to improve further up. Their conscious level keep improving. And here it shows again, see, one could do lot of seva, meditation, and get more connected. Or they can continue to do their worldly duties with mind and buddhi, and with their body and their senses, and live in this world. And here it says, respective karma, and subject to influence of their nature. So here, based on their nature, based on our nature, God takes us to next level, gives us the rebirth. However, God, no matter what we do, God still has the goal for us, purpose of our life for us, and that is liberation. Why? Because our souls existed before. We were born and continue to exist after we die. The process of rebirth continues over and over as our souls evolve spiritually. And there are many verses related to that, like Dehno asmin yatha dehe komaram yovnam zara. Tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tatra namuhati. So even one dies, but the soul continues to live. Nenam chidanti shastrani, nenam dharti pavaka. Na chainam kalden tempo, na shochati marita. There are so many verses related to that. Soul is everlasting. It cannot die. It cannot be burned. And based on that, God has set the goals for us. And he says, and what is the goal he has set it for us? To get freedom from miseries and pains. This is the title of our series, Freedom from Miseries and Pains. And this is the goal of God for us, Lord Krishna's for us, Almighty, Supreme Power, and experience ultimate happiness, peace, Anandam. How? Through self-purification, self-transformation, and self-realization, which is I am Chit Ananda. And this is the process we are going through it. Doing self-purification and transforming ourselves, and we are on a blissful path. Here, see, this is a path, not just the meditation, karma yoga, bhakti yoga. That's why Lord Krishna has given us every opportunity to learn. But the ultimate connection comes when we connect with Lord Krishna, whether through karma yoga, bhakti yoga, but meditation gives us, once we learn, it gives us a very fast connection. So this is the verse. Is most important to me. How does God create and design lives for our spiritual involvement and evolvement, progress? Because God plans for us. He started planning our life before we were born. It's not that he just planned it. Before we were born, he was planning for it. Even in Bible, it says, before I shaped you in the womb, I knew all about you. Before you saw the light of the day, I had holy plans for you. So what he means here? How does God prepare our life? This life, how did God created my life for this particular janma? And this is based on my personal experience and also knowing a lot of things now about regression, going through regression myself and learning from many other people. And this is, once we understand this particular process of God's creating us, lot of things, lot of challenges we can handle more easily in life because we understand the purpose of Lord Krishna, that he is here for us to improve. So here it's first God prepares the self-realization plan for my spiritual evolvement based upon my past karma. Jnana karma gati. We try to understand, but it's a very, very complicated part. We do not understand all of our karmas, very only partial of our karmas. And many people even don't understand that part, but people who are in meditation on this path, they do understand because Bhagavad Gita teaches us that. Then what does God do? The God's purpose, as we discussed previously, that his purpose is for us to grow spiritually, go be higher and higher in our conscious level, like he took Arjuna to blissful journey. Here he plans it for all of us. So how he does it? Here it's he takes pieces from my previous lives and puts them together. So let me explain this little bit further here. That we are this, you see that this puzzle, every piece of puzzle represents some parts of our previous lives where I have further put it together. It's not a representation that the head is the one and this is no. This is just a representation that life 1, life 2, life 3, life 4, life 4, and so on. He takes pieces. The lesson we need to learn from each life, the karmas we need to pay back from each life. He puts the whole pieces together and creates this body. So our life is made with a cluster of many lives. 1, 2, 3, it's infinite here. Like it says 84 crore, 84 lakh, unme se he selects the pieces for us, what we need to learn, put it together here in and prepare this life for us. So he takes the pieces from my previous lives and puts them together. Then based on that, he prepared the curriculum, prospectus for us to follow and graduate. Like we are in a college, we are in a school of learning in this Maya, in this Prakriti. And every lesson, through many tests, through many lessons, and tremendous turbulence in our life, he gives us the opportunity to learn a lesson from each situation and continue to evolve until we get liberation. Since we have free will, like we learned that God has given us the free will, he guides us everything with all of his wisdom, but then he has given us the free will. And with free will, what happens? We misuse it due to our 5+2 enemies: Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ankar, jealousy, resentments. So anger, the worldly desires, attachments, ego, greed, jealousy, resentments. Due to that, we are control and also control of our indriyas, mind. So we become the slave of all these. And then we get sidetracked. We do not follow his plan and suffer, incur more bad karmas. Instead of removing the depth of the old karmas, the loan which we have taken, we continue to incur more loan of bad karmas. And then what happens? Continue to go to the cycle of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. So you might be wondering, where did I get this concept of this? As I mentioned, based on my experiences, going into regression and also learning from many other sources with and also counseling other people. But I wanted to share a small story with you here. It's not a story, it's a real thing. Many years ago, our dear brother, Ramanandji Prasad Bhai Sahib, he used to lead, we used to have monthly Gita satsang. And he used to assign verses to different people to speak in the next month session. So he sent me these verses 7 and 8 and 9 to speak about. And when I saw that, I just did not understand what Lord Krishna means here. And unless I do understand, I experience, I do not talk about it. So I basically wanted to tell him, please exchange these verses with somebody else, because I could speak the next verses. So I wanted to exchange it with another brother, Kathuria Saab. But then, I totally forgot about it and I let it go. And this was for 3 weeks, I totally forgot about it. The 4th week, I was coming home in the evening. All of a sudden, when I opened our house gate, my car stopped. And I don't know what happened, but I went totally into trance. And I don't know whether it lasts for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But during that time, I saw 18 of my lifetimes. And also, which karma of my life is coming, which karma I am going through, which I have passed it through. And it was keep going on and on and on. And after 20, 30 minutes, when I came back to my senses, I parked my car, I went home, and I wasn't myself anymore. But it was such a clear vision to me that how my life is put together based on my previous karmas. And what am I going through, which lifetime I'm going through. And what that helped me now to understand. Every time there is a situation, I just go deeper into it and I understand where it is coming from and what God wants me to do now, what lesson I'm learning from it. So the purpose of all this going through our many tests and tremendous turbulence in our life, He gives us the opportunity to learn. That's what I learned. A lesson from each situation and continue to evolve from liberation. Also, it guided me that how I should be more careful and live in awareness that which of my enemies, or my indriyas are controlling my mind and tarnishing my soul at this point, because He wants us to evolve spiritually. So what is the process and what are the benefits we get by doing that? We purify our mind, our heart, remove our resentments, filled with forgiveness, with love and compassion, and transforms us, dissolves all of our resentments, and takes us more toward experiencing that I am no different than God. So God is the best designer. He customizes and creates us based on our karmas. So here is you can see it here. How God is right there. And here how on this part of the people are going through the regular karmas and then going through the one body to the another body, sometimes the female, sometimes the male, sometimes the plant, sometimes all this. But the other part who are on the spiritual path, they are all going upstairs to the higher conscious level. So in other words, here, when we are uprooted, our roots are uprooted of our old karmas. But when we do the spiritual practices, the roots start getting uprooted, and then we start transforming. And finally, with surrendering and faith to God, we get out of this life cycle of birth and death. And finally, we realize that I am no different. So with the spiritual practices, we transform ourselves. And not only that, we get beyond birth and death. We experience right here more healthier life, more peaceful mind. We are more happy. We experience more inner peace, Chit Ananda. And that is called final self-realization. So Lord Krishna has prepared the spiritual planner for us. And what is that spiritual planner? It takes us very systematically through the blissful journey where we can purify, transform, and realize. I call it where we graduate. We finally get the moksha, liberation. But the key is practice of Srimad Bhagavad Gita's teachings. And here it says, when we perform daily spiritual practices, gradually we will attain peace and Anandam within and also experience in my external life. Here it shows again, as the embodied soul, as I mentioned before, Dhino asmin yatha dehe komaram yomnam zara tatha dehantar prapti dhiras tatra namohi. It makes us understand that why we are going from one body to another body, why we are going from one difficult situation in life to another. Because until we learn the lesson, we will continue to go through this cycle. So therefore, we should follow our spiritual planner, which actually this is the manifestation of God's spiritual planner, which he has done it for planning our life, putting each piece, each karma together from our past lives and work on it. So morning, we should start our day. As we start our day's mood change stays that way. So we should continue to live in the consciousness of supreme power from the morning to the night, even though we are performing our activities. So start with Om mantra, even 3 times, 108 times, or 12th chapter, or Hanuman Chalisa, or read Ramayana, Guru Granth Sahib, whatever resonates with you, but start your day. Or even if you get an autography of somebody or biography of somebody, just get a 1 point and motivate yourself for that day. Charge yourself. Put your mind into more positive part of it, because sometimes we have some dreams, nightmares. So start our day again with a positive note, and then take care of your body, mind, with meditation and prayers. And during the day, just take a 1 practice, whatever we need, whatever karmas we are going through, whatever the phase of life we are going through, And sometimes we are confused and we don't know which karma, why am I going through this? By learning this, you would know some of the karma from some of our life has come in front of us to teach us a lesson. So learn a lesson from it and uplift ourselves rather than why me? Why this is happening to me? Why crying? Like Pujya Swami Chidananji always says, anytime you go through the challenges, instead of asking the question, why me? Tell God, try me. I am with you. You are with me. And I'm going to go through it. I'm not going to fail. So have that commitment rather than why me? Try me. And then also in Bible it says, this will pass too. So this is not going to last. And then continue on practices. And in the evening, sit down, evaluate. How did it go? How was my day? If we have done something which we did not like, just ask for forgiveness. At the same time, pray for the courage and wisdom to continue to stay on the spiritual path. Once we are on a spiritual path and the practices, the direction of our life has changed. And we are going to transform because God has set this goal for us, not us. Though we might sometimes think, I am the doer, I have done it. No, God has done this. And then meditate and do your best. And then just let go. Let go, let go. Sarva dharman paritajya. Mamekam sharanam braj. Aham tvam sarpapebhyo. Moksha shami ma shuchi. God has promised us. Once you are on this path, don't worry about it. You are going to eventually experience that you are Satchitananda. So our homework is to ask the question, live in the awareness that have I set my supreme goal of liberation? God has set it for us. Now we have to make sure we live in that consciousness. Do I live in that the self-awareness, consciousness? Do I live in the mindfulness of supreme power? Do I pay attention to my karmas here? Whether am I going to go through this path, birth and death, or am I going to go to higher level? So am I paying attention to each of my karma? Am I trying to convert every karma into dharma? In other words, when I do my karma, do I do it with love and compassion for benefit of all? Do I follow God's plan? It's all God's plan. Do I witness my karmas and just go with the flow of His plan with the good intentions? Do I regularly practice my spiritual planner? So continue to question, do self-inquiry, because that is the only path where we can continue to improve and learn and reach to higher self. So our sankalpa is, I follow God's plans. Once I follow God's plans and on this path, I will live happily, more healthier, most peacefully, and eventually experience who I am. So continue to follow God's plans with this sankalpa, because sankalp prabhavan kamasya takva sarvan sheshatte manse indriya gramam vinyam samantata shanai shanai uppar med buddhyagrati grahita atma sansam mana kratvana kinchit api chinte. One gradually attains peace and tranquility of mind by totally abandoning all selfish desires. Here it says the sankalpa not for selfish desires, but completely controlling all the senses and mind and intellect, keeping the mind fully engaged in the God's consciousness. He reminds us that stay in my consciousness and thinking of nothing else. Once we are on that path, then little by little, the seed will sprout, the tree will grow, the flowers will come, and it will bear the fruit. With the help of Bhagavad Gita, you can see the Bhagavad Gita's image here with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. That seed will turn into fruits. And when it turns to fruits, every fruit has the seeds. So then that fruit start distributing those seeds. So we become and also follow God's guidance to spread this message by spreading these seeds to many. But we should have a patience, because Lord Krishna says it's not a quick fix. That's why we have this daily planner and sankalpas and doing every sankalpa for 1 week until the new sankalpa comes. So I hope all of you are following the daily planner and sankalpa. So thank you very much for joining. How does God create and design my life? Thank you.